Hey guys, welcome back to Read with Melanin. Today we are here to talk about the Bookshop Sisterhood because I technically recorded this as a short, but I didn't realize that I couldn't talk for more than 3 minutes. And so I figured because I actually had a lot to say, let's do like a regular sit down long form video. I will say this talk is going to include spoilers. So if you've never read The Bookshop Sisterhood by Michelle Lindo-Rice, now is your time to put this book in the little save thing and come back to it for later. So the premise of this book is that there are 4 girlfriends who've been friends since college. They've come together and they have decided that they're going to open like a very nice niche bookshop in their town because their town needs one, which the premise of that alone, love it. The problem is the bookshop was such a side quest to the rest of the story for me that I was just like, I'm just reading it for the plot at this point. I really want to see how the author like brings this all home. And unfortunately for me, I mean, yeah, I guess she kind of brought it all home, but I was still very much like, this was just a little too long, a little too late, and I can't wait. So as a person that has 3 girlfriends from college, and, you know, we're older women and things, I have a couple of questions about this friend dynamic because it's giving not fully fleshed. Like the communication issues within this friend group is so nuts that I'm kind of was like, why are y'all friends? Because they aren't really like truly honest with each other. And then when they are, it's like they overstep each other's boundaries and like they feel like they know what's best for each other. Meanwhile, like their own lives are like a hotmess.com. Like, what do you mean? So like, let's talk about each girl because I feel like that's the best way for me to get this out my system. So the first girl that we have is Tony. She's our social media influencer. For some reason, she decides that it would be good to have her wedding at the bookstore, which doesn't make sense at all. I was like, no, girl, that sounds corny. That's what that sounds like. That sounds real corny. But she's excited about her fiance. And, you know, she's like super in lovey-dovey with her fiance. And I'm like, I'm happy for you. The first thing that we realize with Tony is that she learns that she's potentially infertile, which is devastating. I believe with anybody that's like ready to start a family, that's got to be devastating. But the part that immediately was like, girl, what? She lied to her fiance. And for me, this is 2 things. So like 1, she's talking about how much she loves this man, how much he's everything, da da da. She also says that like one of the reasons that his previous relationship did not work is because the previous one did not want to have kids. And so I was like, did not want to have kids and want to have kids. Like she still wants to have kids. She just may not be able to have them naturally. But like, why would you immediately jump to lying to this beautiful, wonderful fiance? Like I get freaking out, but I wanted her to be like, you know what? Like there's something we need to sit down and talk about because like when you asked me, I just needed time to process it. Like I wanted like adult communication, but that's obviously not the theme of this book. So like she hides it. And then also it ends up being found out that like when she was like 15, she was messing around with a grown man and ended up having to get an abortion. And like there was so much shame and stuff around that like she was trying to keep it a secret. And I'm just like, where's the communication where somebody's like, no, baby, you were groomed. Like, this was bad. This was really bad. But again, it's all from a lack of communication. Like she went from being the super confident girl to just like closing in on herself. And I guess when that kind of trauma or those kind of traumatic moments are like happening to you personally, you never really know how you're going to respond. But it's just the way that she set up how great her marriage was going to be that I just kind of feel like she should have like relied on him like sooner rather than later, you know? So I was like, okay, Tony girl. All right, I guess. The next one is Celeste. So Celeste is the one who, she was mugged at gunpoint in a car at night. So she has crazy trauma around this. Like the trauma is debilitating. It is actually harming the way that her everyday life functions. Excuse me. It is putting a strain on her marriage. And her husband is like, listen, I'm done. And it's basically him doing this. He thinks that by like him being done, that she was going to like realize the severity of it and go to therapy, which I kind of thought that's what would happen. But instead, she literally does everything else to try to keep her marriage, like throwing cat left and right. Cool. But like not fixing her actual problems. And again, this one is a little confusing because like, I don't understand what her aversion to therapy is. I don't understand what her aversion to getting help is, because it's very clear to everyone that this is ruining her life. Like, this trauma is ruining her life. She's afraid to get in cars. She's afraid to be social at night. She's afraid to do things. Like, she's literally limiting her life. But like, she decides to just not. And I'm just like, okay, girl. All right. I feel like the theme for my expression for most of this book was like, okay, girl, I don't really know how I feel about this. I don't really know. Okay. Now, this one, I just want to ask a question. Like, I want to, if any authors watch my videos, which I don't think any of them do because they know I talk about their books. I understand that to get traditionally published, a lot of publishers try to push for white characters to be put in the stories. Not saying there's anything wrong with white characters, but it's the way that it was like immediately mentioned that she was the token white girl and that she was like the only white girl at the HBCU. But like, but we hung out with her because like, it's like trying to paint it like HBCUs treat white people differently for being white is already a thing. Like, I mean, Southern fried rice is literally at the forefront right now. So like, obviously, I didn't really like that. I was like, we didn't even need to know. Like at this point, I thought it was 4 Black women until y'all specifically was like, no, we have the white girl. Like, I was like, ick. I didn't like that. But Leslie, of everybody, Leslie had actual like real drama that was not going to be solved with communication. Like, her daughter, severely sick, like in need of help, reaches out to her family where she learns that she's adopted. And I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like to learn that my parents are not my biological parents. I can't imagine what that would be like. But I kind of feel like Leslie, I think it was because she had so much going on. Like, her ex-husband was kind of garbage. Her daughter was literally like severely sick. And then getting this revelation when she's looking for donors to help her daughter. I can understand why maybe she wasn't thinking too clearly, but she was thinking clearly enough to get up in some of her other friends' business. And I was like, baby girl, you doing everything but talking to your dad, because that man is your father. Yes, he did not tell you that you were adopted. And I do feel like that is a disservice when adoptive parents don't tell their kids that, because like now there is a situation where like her daughter needs donors, and you know, they tell you like family is like the better option. And I don't know. It's like, it's hard to really comment on Leslie's drama because Leslie's drama is real. Like, there's no bit of like, oh, communication would fix this. Like, no, she has no idea who her biological family is. And her daughter needs things from people she's got to match with, you know? So I try not to be mad at Leslie for the drama that Leslie had. I'm just mad that Leslie is that friend that feel like she got to she got to interject herself into other people's business. And I don't know if this was a tactic for her because she just didn't want to truly deal with the stuff that she was dealing with. And maybe it was like, well, my life is crap. Let me go like be in somebody else's business, which is valid in a way. But again, if this friendship dynamic I just lost a piece of my ring. Hold on. If this friendship dynamic had been what it was supposed to be, I feel like there could have been a lot more support. I think a lot of the situations in this book, the girls lacks true support from each other, where even when they were telling each other about their problems, like there wasn't like this sense of like, I don't know. It just, something about their friendship was off, and I just don't have the right words to properly articulate it. But that also means that we have to talk about Yasmin. Yasmin was the brokey. Like, her friends were filling up her gas tank. She was sleeping on her parents' couch, and then she wins the lottery. Girl starts blowing that money like crazy, gets her like sometimes on again, off again boyfriend Pookie out of jail, trusts a random stranger instead of her friend who's literally like a finance guru in her business, who's literally the finance guru that they're going to be using to open up their bookshop. Instead of trusting her friend, her college best friend of many years, instead of trusting her, she goes and trusts a random girl she's never met, has never checked any credentials, and gets scammed. And I'm like, again, why? Why, Yasmin? Why did you do that? Why did you feel like the stranger knew more than your friend, and your friend is the girl that's like, you trust her enough with the finances to open up the bookshop, but not enough to tell you like, hey girl, you're doing too much. And it's not like, I don't know. Yasmin was my least favorite character, obviously. She just did so much dumb stuff. So yeah, basically to sum all of this up, this book could have been a DNF for me, but I kept reading it to finish the plot. And when I finally got to the end, I realized I didn't get enough Black girls in bookstores. So my question to you is, have you read Bookshop Sisterhood? What do you think about the sisterhood? Please let me know down below in the comments. And until the next video, guys,